computer. Так, мы сейчас чуть-чуть лайвстримнем on Facebook. Continue. Давай. Все, погнали. And 3, and 2, and 1, and let's go. Hello, hello, everyone. I'm super happy to see all of you. Yana, I need to see you because we have our guest today. Куда ты делась у меня? Let's wait until camera is on. We are waiting for our guest. Anyway, right now, I'm going to talk to you. Meanwhile, my name is Ilona Nesterova. I do real estate for the last 12 years, and I do travel business for the last 6 years. And the beauty of this business is that you can actually combine both businesses together. And hallelujah, I have my Yana. So this one, hello, hello. I'm super
Hi,
happy.
how are you?
So let's put one person out, 3 participants, yeah? I need you to leave only one person on the screen. Can you come out from your phone? Yeah, just like that. Perfect. Thank you. So I want to introduce to you the person that is always surprising me. Every time I talk to her, I get something new. I'm always learning something new. So her name is Yana Sorsher, and for 26 years, she's been doing she's training human brains using EEG neurofeedback, and she is a neurotherapist. This is very important. So I just trained my brain even to pronounce what is she doing. Can you tell us more about yourself? What do you do?
Hello, everyone. My name is Yana Sorsher. Like Ilona said, what I'm doing for 26 years, I'm training human brains using EEG neurofeedback. This is the method that has been designed by NASA 58 years ago. And nowadays, we could train any part of the brain to our desired result. So you could improve your memory, your IQ, your intellectual IQ, your emotional IQ. You could improve the quality of your sleep. If the people have any psychological or psychiatric disorders or have any symptomology, you could dysregulate that, and you could become much more better regulated without that symptom. So if the people have depression, or people have anxiety, or people have children have ADHD, ADD, or children have autistic spectrum, all of the symptoms can be annulled by just simply training the brain with EEG. So what we're doing is we're placing electrodes on people's brain, and we're reading information from the brain exactly the same way we're reading information while we're doing EKG per se, when we're reading information from the heart. The difference between the brain and the heart is that the brain could learn, thank God. And for 58 years, we already have awesome results. There are protocols for each and every dysregulation, whatever the brain does, and you could always improve it. So you could feel clear, calm, focus, alert to your own desired result.
I have a
So,
question. I have a question. Sorry, I will interrupt you because I have a question that some people, absolutely without knowing it, they invent themselves adventures and they go for vacations, for example, and that keeps them going. Like even if they are very tired, if their brain is overwhelmed, if they are super much working at work, sometimes all you need to do is to take vacation. Isn't it true that taking healthy vacation keeps your brain actually healthy?
of course, what happens is our brain is designed for something new. So usually we say that as long as person has curiosity or person expose themselves to something new, the brain keep reactivating itself and making new connection, new neuronal links. So it's actually very beneficial for the brain, especially if you have a routine where you go homework, to get out and actually see something new. So anything new will bring you extra energy. So you will feel more refreshed. You're going to feel distracted from whatever traditional path the brain runs to. And it's actually very good beneficial result. Also,
So
I read somewhere that numerologists, they predict, they could calculate by geolocation of on Earth. So on our planet, there are different areas which are charged with more energy, some charged with less energy. But by changing and
So it's
moving
true.
around,
Like they said, this the power place. Like people say, oh, let's go to Lake Shasta, or let's go to the Ozera Baikal, the Baikal,
yeah,
or they go to.
geographically, each location has a different vibration. So whether we want to acknowledge it or not, we
It
have
exists. It's
it
true.
exists, it's true, it's measurable, it's objective, it's not like hearsay. They could measure it the same way like you could measure the brain activity, you could measure the energy of the human being, the same exact way you could measure geolocation. So by moving different places, you changing the energy that you get. So you get new energy. On top of that, the geolocation where you're going, it has some numbers. So
Do you
numeral,
have any examples of those places? Like
yeah, there
what?
are there are like different places where you go and you recharge more. So you could actually Google. We have now ChatGPT, so
Yeah,
you could type the top
top
energy
top
release.
cool energy places. Oh, that's cool. That's
Yes,
amazing.
for instance, I love mountains because for me, I feel the energy is part of my skills. So when I go to the mountains, the energy there, it's so much more that, let's say, we have here in Florida. So when you're on top of the mountain and you feel this energy, I personally recharge. So we always go once a year somewhere in the mountains, and we go there and we grasp that energy. I usually, like what I do with my patients, I usually teach them, when you are in a place that you like, you close your eyes and you memorize it by which in every system. So with your lungs, you breathe it. With visual, you see the picture, you sense it with your body, with your posture. So you're trying to memorize it on different levels so it would be memorable. Because in a tough day, when you have a difficult day at work, you could close your eyes and your brain could bring you there by just thinking of it. What I also do, I like to buy perfumes. So for
This
each
is what I
vacation,
wanted to say. I
yeah,
buy perfume for each trip. So if
yes,
I'm going to one place, I will. I have the whole bunch of perfumes that I have. If I want to come back to the place where I was, I use that perfume
you could
exactly.
smell. Mhm.
Yes.
And your
But do
brain
you
brings
know,
you there.
The Indian tribes, they used to have the same. They had memory bottles. They were wearing it on the belt. They had like little kolbachka, like little things. So they would
Vials. Uh-huh.
grab this smell from whatever area at that moment they close it, and this is how they remember things, by the smell.
Of
That's
course.
amazing.
Of
Look,
course.
I have a question. So you say curiosity, adventurous. So me and you now, because you got the travel business account, and you anytime can learn something new, does it mean that every time you study, like for example, I had today class about Africa, and at the same time I had training about RPR for real estate. So every day you train new knowledge, you actually train your brain, and it keeps you healthy.
Of course. Any
Yeah.
new experience delivers new connections between neurons. When the child is born, they have a lot of extra connections in between different areas. And then when people don't use it, they dissipate. So, and whatever you do every day, this is the connections that we have in our brain as a map. So when you add new stuff, any new skill, especially difficult one, I don't know, playing piano, violin, or doing some sort of sport that involves different parts of the body. Dancing is one of the biggest, I guess, resources that the body could get, because you have to listen to the tune, you have to move certain way, so the whole brain is actively working and participating in new neuron production. This is actually very, very beneficial. And when you travel, everything of that is combined. So you could go and all the time, every day you dancing. There is this dance, there is that dance. There are different sort of food. So you tasting it, you feel it. So and then you have ongoing positive experience from one thing to the other to the other. And your brain is actually, it's not just you on vacation, your brain on vacation, because it celebrates life. And this is what life is about.
You know, I tell to my husband I have three stages of travel, and he never could understand what it means. So I have a wall on which I have my future travels. I have a wall on which I have my past travels. So, for example, if I want to go somewhere, I can look at the wall and dream about it and imagine. So my three stages of travel is like this. You book, first you want it, so you imagine. Then you book it, and you predict, предвкушаешь, не знаю, как это по-английски, не помню. And you
You anticipate.
anticipate. How are you going to wake up? How are you going to go on this vacation? How are you going to grab your luggage? How are you going to look at this mountain? Which each city you imagine, where are you going to be? And then you actually travel, which is real time, that you are experiencing it, living in this moment, taking thousands of pictures, experiencing it. And then you come back after travel, and then you have this aftertaste for years, that you can come back to that clusters of memory and say, oh, you remember how we were sitting on this terrace, how we had my morning coffee. So that is having so big lasting effect that it can last you for the whole lifetime,
Of
actually.
course. It's
That's
actually very smart that you're doing beforehand, because the research says that anticipation, when you're predicting, even when you go shopping and you find in some kind of dress for your whatever white knight on the ship, it's actually more emotions there anticipating. It's more rewarding when you go there. So when you go there, it's actually the tip I could give you is like, besides that you're there taking picture, try to take picture in your mind. So close your eyes and memorize it with your body, not just the mind. Give the body experience, like have your tactile, your breathing, breathe it in and try to remember it. So that will have more lasting effect. But what you said, it's very good, because when you introduce your mind to the future, you kind of make it familiar. And when you already go there, you know what to expect. So in your particular case, because you're anticipating it, it's more pleasure when you're there, because it's like a double pleasure. It's the same thing
yeah.
as, say, you want to buy a new phone or new computer. When you go to the store, you want to know what you're looking for. So you need to have a picture of it. And when you get it, then you have this very nice reward.
It's interesting that you said that not only taking picture and being experiencing it, but remember it and feel it with all your body and brain and take a picture with your brain. That's exactly what my son said to me when I'm a travel blogger. I need to blog everything that I eat, I this, I that, because I sell those cruises, I sell those resorts and everything. He he said, Mom, can you leave me alone? Stop taking pictures of everything that is around you. Close your eyes. My kid, 17.
Awesome.
And he said, I want to take pictures in my mind.
Very smart. Very
My
smart.
kids are teaching me what
Yeah.
my neuropsychologist is giving the advice for everybody.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's very smart to listen to your kids as well.
Those children, yeah, those children come already with information. You see, this information is already templated in their brain, and they know. That's why I teach the parents that come with a kid, listen to the kid. Kid sometimes tells you something that you have no clue exists, but it's true. You know
Do
what
you
he
want to
says?
say that they are wired differently than
They
us?
wire totally differently. Yeah, each and every generation uh, that comes with more knowledge. I had one kid that was connecting here the stones in with a light bulb and had electricity. So he brought it in and he connected, and I was wow. I was like, how did you do that? Because he took different rocks that project electricity and he connected. So children, and look at the younger generation, they take iPhone and they already know what to do with it. So
Yeah. I try still on vacation. I had very good big strict rule, and that is for every single kid. Sometimes I say, listen, we have to run around the city. We have to see this. We have to see Rome. We have to take a train. We have to do this and this. And you will have your phone only for 1 hour a day because I want you not to miss any single thing that is live in the moment instead of you staring in the phone watching somebody's TikTok as they are traveling. You
yeah, that's
are
smart.
the one who is traveling. You should make those TikToks instead of watching other people doing that.
That's
So
that's very smart.
it's rule because sometimes they said, "Oh, I'm on internet on the cruise ship." I make a deal. I said, if you are going to be on the phone 24/7, I'm not buying the internet for you. If it is on the all inclusive, I said, I'm not giving you internet unless you promise me it's 1 hour a day. It's important. Tell me one inconvenience, I believe, with the travel. Is there a possibility that people will invent teleport? Because I would like to have teleport. Sometimes I want to be in several places at the same time, or I have shortage of time. Is there
It's
any
It's a
possibility?
matter, yeah, I think it's a matter of time because a lot of things that we see now in sci-fi videos, whatever was before as a fantasy, it becomes reality. So it's a matter of time that it will become reality, hopefully in our time as well. So we could be like, oh, you remember you wished for this, now it's a reality.
I was talking to my Grok, which is the AI in
Mhm.
Tesla, and I asked, are they gonna predicted travel in the space? And they already have. So within 10 to 15 years, there are programs, SpaceX, Aero, and da da da. Several big people in this world are already working on those projects.
Yeah.
So eventually, travel agents will be able to sell for civilians the trips to Mars, to Jupiter, to anywhere else, and it is limitless. Like the now
That's
I would the travel industry is like predicted in the nearest 10 years to raise to 15 trillion per year. People will spend to travel, especially the Gen Z, because they are the one who introduced leisure travel. So
right.
they combine business and leisure. So 3 days of the conference, you are at the conference, then you stay another 2 days and you actually relax with your brain. Would you recommend doing something like that for people who can?
It's a good idea, actually. I have to say that what your son tells you, coming back to son,
Uh-huh.
to relax, the homework of childhood, and nobody talks about it, and it's extremely important. The whole homework when the child is born until they hit 18 is to learn how to be relaxed. So when you take your kids to vacation, it's amazing to teach them to relax, to do nothing, to lay down and let your mind go, maybe even close your eyes. It's a good time to introduce meditation, self focus, because this is what they have to master the alpha waves, which help us relax, which in adults age we have only when we about to fall asleep. 8 to 11 hertz. So a lot of times when people growing up come in to and I train their brain and I place electrodes, and when the alpha wave goes a little bit higher, everyone feeling sleepy. They feeling sleepy because the brain thinks that they fall into sleep. But in reality, we're teaching the brain to be relaxed. It's rarely when I find people who have alpha waves with a norm. Usually it's people who meditate and they're able to get there. So then we don't have that issue with alpha. But normally, if you have child or children, teach them to relax. Tell them this is the most important. Tell all my parents that come to me, when you have a child, you pick them up from school, give them 30 minutes, 40 minutes, whatever time allows, to do nothing at all without cellular phone. Just do and relax. They need
It's
to learn to master it.
funny. My daughter always say, like when I pick her up from school, and I said, okay, now we will come, you will walk the dog, do this, then now we're gonna do this. And she's like, yes, but in 30 minutes. 30
Awesome. You
minutes,
see,
I
you
want
have
to
smart
relax
kids.
and do nothing. I'm like,
Yes.
okay, yeah, it's amazing that you are telling what they are telling me, and maybe every parent is absolutely having this signs, but we don't hear it because
Yeah,
we
it's
know
very,
how
very
we grew
important.
up. How we grew up. By the way, there is a secret place. It's so secret that not everybody knows it, but I'm gonna share it with you. It's called Little Palm Island, and it's right here in the Keys. And you have to take a boat to get there and book, and it's very pricey. But the beauty of the place is that the deers are sleeping on that island in the night,
Mm,
and they have even Truman room, the President Truman. So it's all about history and everything. And my favorite thing is that in the cabanas that they have, there is a book that is called The Art of Doing Nothing.
awesome.
So I was
Awesome.
like, oh my God, this is art
You
of
have
doing.
signs everywhere.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, so I said to one of my friends, I said, listen, I found the book, The Art of Doing Nothing. And I was told, you know what? You are the professional author of this book because sometimes you just say, you know what? Let's go on vacation. Why do we need to work? I want to go on vacation. So is it healthy? How many times per year a healthy human being and brain should go minimum on vacation? And it doesn't mean that you have to take 1 month cruise. You can even go to get away for the weekend, right? Drive
Right.
around the city and it's already another location. So
Right.
healthy.
Relocation, I actually looked it up at some point in my life. So the healthy one, 3 to 4 times a year, but
Mhm.
the best they consider to be seven. And in those seven, it's the one that you said weekends. When you take 4th of July weekend somewhere, or you're going 3 days away. So anytime when you go somewhere, you kind of get in new energy, new resources to your brain, because for the brain, when the brain switches activity, this is when they get more energy. It's much easier for the brain to do that. So we are aligned like this. And a lot of people nowadays complaining about ADHD and that they cannot do one thing. So switch your attention, do 15, 10 minutes meditation, close your eyes, and then you're going to be more efficient in whatever you're doing.
My friend, one time I said, why you cannot focus? What's going on with you? And she's like, I have too many windows open on my
It's true.
computer.
But she's lucky she's a woman. Listen, man cannot do that. There are 9 anatomical differences between man and female brain. And this is one of it. Women are, imagine this kind of closet, which could have different doors open, and they all could be opened at the same time. So you could be talking to me, you could be thinking what you're going to cook for dinner, what you're going to do tomorrow, what you're going to say to your son, and it's all happened at the same time. Men could do only one function at one time. So when you asking your husband, dear, can you take the garbage away? And if he's watching TV, he literally cannot hear you.
He might not hear. Yes, I know
He
that. It's like,
doesn't. He cannot
I'm
register.
talking to you. I'm talking to you. He's like, oh, me?
Right.
But I was busy watching the movie. I said,
Yes, yes. Anatomically, he cannot register what you're saying. Only certain men whose hormonal panel is a little bit different could do it. So in order for him to hear you, you need to come in front of TV, stand so he could see you, and then you talk. And then
Julius Caesar, he could do five things at the same time, multitasking. But some people said he had ADHD or whatever. The thing is, so technically all the people who actually joined the travel business and now can afford to travel more often can get access to better deals, can get information every day about new locations, new destinations, learn something, and travel minimum 6 to 7 times a year. They are gonna be healthier with their brain and emotions. Yeah,
for
that's
sure.
correct. Because
Back in 1980, the science already determined that the expression of our genes is governed by our emotions. So people who do take vacation, people that do have more happy experiences in life, they turn on the right genes to be healthy, and they turn off the one that leads them to disease. A lot of times you hear, and you could hear it in any doctor's office, they will say, what is the genetic diseases? Genetic diseases to me means that I am copying and pasting all the emotional regulation that my parents or ancestors did. If I learn to self-regulate in a different manner, and if I work about my emotion and I'm learning how not to be reactive, how to manage the emotion. So if I have something that been attributed from the ancestors, I take the emotion and work it out in the objective way and I get rid of it. So I turn on more health to my life versus my ancestors. So in our days, back from 1980, we should no longer say genetic diseases because there are only few that true genetic that cannot be changed. The majority of disease, cardiovascular, cancer, whatever the relatives had. You remember we had this whole situation with breast cancer where people start removing their healthy breast just because their mother or grandmother had it. If you have different emotion that your grandmother or mother had, you will never have it. So this is
do you
the
work with people to do that? Do you do online or offline consultations? And is there a specific way how to remove all those
of course.
unnecessary things?
So there are two methods that I'm using in my practice. One is EEG neurofeedback. So what it is, it's a training of the EEG of the electricity of the brain, which eventually changing the chemistry of the brain. So let's say the person depressed, we train in certain part of the brain, self-regulate upper or better. So people no longer have depression. So it's you coming in, it's in the office only, we place electrodes, you sit in, and you kind of playing a computer game, but not with your head, but with your brain activity, which
So
is
no
very
pills? You don't need pills?
you don't need pills. Yeah, you could have whatever diagnosis and then eventually go off the pills all completely.
Wow.
So it helps people, let's say if they have, God forbid, stroke, they cannot walk and talk. Like many people actually were able to walk and talk again after training the brain. If children have ADHD, if you cannot sleep, if you have anxiety or depression, all of those can be retrained. So you're training the brain. The beauty of this treatment that 30 to 40% of new neurons are born in that matter, and they teach the rest of the brain to behave better. The second method that I'm using, and sometimes it's like a shortcut in therapy. So let's say if I see there's a prominent emotion, let's say somebody comes in and they just divorced, or somebody had like something traumatic occur. Like I have a lot of
Fresh.
people.
You mean fresh? Something
Fresh.
that's just
It could be
okay.
not fresh. It could be either fresh or long term, but it's something precipitating the same emotion over and over. So then it's called regression therapy. It's been designed back 1950. I think the first science come up of that. And there's specific method how to remove. So what we're removing your reaction to that particular stressor trigger. So when next time it's occur, it's no longer you are reacting to it. You're able just to look at that. And a lot of times when the session is over, people say, I can't believe I was reacting to it. Or let's say there is a situation when somebody, like traditional thing that I have, that people break up and the woman comes in and says, I know here in my brain, I understand he's not for me. I know he's this and this negative, but I still miss him. And when we go in the session and we do this, they come up and they said, it's not me. It's my mom's emotion toward her significant other that she as a child attribute and perceive it her own.
Oh
Because
wow.
when we
Wow,
spend
that's
the time,
amazing.
yeah, when we spend the time in mom's womb for that 9 months, our brain records everything that happens to mom. When mom is stressed, the stomach constricts, so we have less space, so there's less blood flow, etc. So we are conditioned to the stressors, whatever mom went through during pregnancy. And when we meet
And you
this
can work
situation,
with it. And you can
yeah,
work with it, go to and
exactly,
remove it. And
exactly,
actually, for example, sometimes people have some obstacles, but they are not in even theirs. They have
right,
obstacles in their
exactly.
mind
It could be totally
or
not theirs. Hmm.
yeah, like me, I would say I had just a physical memory. In my childhood, they used to swaddle me. You know, I don't know why they wanted. I don't know to dig to dig us in the land. I don't know, but they used to swaddle as a baby so
Dropping,
strong
uh-huh.
that even now when somebody is hugging me too strong, I have reaction to run away, because even if it's a hug, I'm like, you cannot hug me that long and that strong. So I am still asking my mom, why did you wrap me like this so strong? So is
They
it
all
some,
did it. They all did.
yeah.
You're just a free spirit. You're never meant to be constricted.
Yeah, but the thing is, my mom said you always were fighting it. So until you take out your
All the
hands
children do,
like this, until you unwrap yourself, you wouldn't sleep.
for
So
sure.
even now, so I say that don't hug me. I don't like when somebody is swaddling me in the night.
We could
Oh,
actually go there with you and remove that negative connotation to this so you could enjoy it. So that is
okay.
also it. This is also something that could be done. So because when you in the mom's womb, whatever mom's feeling, it templates in your brain, and for your brain it's direction to act. So when you see it in the real life, when you meet that situation, like you said, somebody's hugging you too tight, you experiencing whatever she experienced, and you
Yeah,
cannot
I think
distinguish that it's not your emotion. You truly believe it's your emotion.
yeah, so you work with people and remove all that unnecessary thing. So can you rewire them for, like, I don't know, better life, more money, I don't know, more travel, more
Yes,
opportunities that
actually
they
emotions,
allow?
yeah, actually emotions have everything to do with financial freedom and finances in total. Because
Let's give them that hint. We have like 5 minutes left, so let's give them that secret from Jan.
so the secret from Yana is that your emotion link not only to your health but also your financial freedoms, because the energy that the body projects, our heart, it's not just an organ that pumps blood, it's a vortex that makes the special field of energy. We are human, part of us is human, that you could touch the flesh. The other one is a soul, which we cannot touch, but our presence, when Einstein and Mark Planck were dividing the atom, They were fascinated with the fact that when the human was present and watching the atom divided, it would evolve into the energy. But when the human would not be there, it would evolve to become a matter. So we, with our human soul,
I have
capable of
goosebumps.
changing stuff, we're able to change the reality either to the matter or to the energy. And money is nothing more than energy. So when you observe something and you put your positive energy there, you're capable of changing the reality. Your
That
heart
is
chakra, the
great.
scientists actually measured it, it's 11 kilometers long. So, and we emanated our future when you, in a grateful state, when you are perceiving life in a positive way, you're able to go from better to better to better, and vice versa. I actually going to show you. We're in my office. So there's a table like this. It's a table of consciousness, and our blueprint is in love. You see this 500 hertz? It's right over here. So actually, human adult has four choices of feelings that we're supposed to feel. So one is love, then there's a joy, 560 hertz, and then peace is 600, and this enlightenment is further up from 700 to 1,000.
I will tell another secret. Oh my God, I just remembered, but you confirm is it true or not? I was told, I was reading one day that the best moment to make a wish is when you are having orgasm. So the moment after the orgasm is when you are so inspired that you actually can make any wish, and you are in the state of mind that actually can produce any wish through. Is it correct?
Any energy, even when you sneeze. So when your vibration is higher than normal, yes, because
Uh-huh.
you kind of pushing it to the universe. I think gratitude is the highest form of projection that you could do.
Wow, that's so
Yeah, so
great.
orgasm is very good too. It's actually, you could also, the other trick that you could do, and I'm going to make a post for this. I already did it in Russian. I'm going to do it hopefully sometime today in English.
Remember to subscribe, people. I will leave the account of Yana in the comments.
So you could do stuff before you go into sleep. Before you go into sleep, it's an awesome time to reprogram your brain. Our human brain is capable to proceed only 50,000 bits of information when our body and brain collects 11 million bits. So imagine how much less we're getting. So it's constricted. When person is stressed, it's even less information that we get in. That's why we say that we have a tunnel vision. When we stress out, we cannot see the opportunities. So when you relax, it's vice versa. So when you go into sleep, right, before you go into sleep, there are different steps that you could take in order to help your brain record the positive information, because during your sleep, during your REM sleep, rapid eye movements, the brain has to cut out or get rid of certain information and keep certain information. So stressful events, this is how it gets reactivated, because there's a center of the brain that's called amygdala that holds the negative information. We are wired for survival. So our brain, unfortunately or fortunately, collects all the negative information first, because it's kind of important to survive. So what you could do before going to sleep, remember through that day positive things. And you could go from evening to the morning, kind of rewiring and relearning it, and have your gratitude statement affirmation. Then I'm going to place this step on my Instagram so you could follow and read it, all the other details.
Amazing. Thank you so much for
My
so
pleasure.
many tricks and important information. So, people, today we learned that traveling and learning something new is actually going to keep your healthy brain. If you are becoming the owner of travel business, you have more opportunities to travel more, be more healthy, and get better emotions. Also, if you didn't have good experiences, or you don't know where to go, or you have some programs that you want to get rid of, you can work with Yana. She will help you to rewire your brain, to learn everything that you didn't know about yourself, and to release from negativity and find your way through the healthy methods that she's been using for 26 years with all her people, with all her patients. So copy her, direct message her, and she will be happy to help you with one or the other. If you want to rewire yourself with neurofeedback, or you want to become a travel business owner, both of it available to
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. Yeah, what I do is actually considered to be luxury level of psychology, because the same thing that we do with you in traveling, we picking the best from the best. So there are traditional methods that are accepted by the insurance. My practice, what we do, unfortunately, neurofeedback is not covered since 2015. It's not covered by insurance, but it's creme de la creme. So this is top of whatever the science could give you to get the best right now. So it's like a caviar, black caviar, or diamonds in jewelry. So it's a top line what you could get in a short period of time to actually live healthier and happier life.
That's the most important, because the healthy person wants to do what more? Wants to have better life, travel more, earn more, and be happy. So we wish you everybody to have a beautiful, blessed weekend, and to have your brain 100% capacity, rewired and happy, and
Yeah.
enjoy. And even if it's a little getaway around the city, you drive out to another place, it's already healthy for your brain and for your well-being and emotions.
Thank you so much for having me here. So
Bye.
always
Appreciate
glad to
you.
share.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye bye.
Bye.